Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Hashtag Event Icons. You might have noticed that the scenery has changed. We aren't in our homes. There's only one camera, and there's a TV behind us, and there's a lot going on right now. We're actually live at IMEX 2016
Live.
in the technology area, and we'll get to that in just a second. But for all you guys who are watching right now, hop on Twitter, hashtag event icon, send in your questions. Also in the question pane over on the right-hand side, I'm looking towards my screen over here. Post your questions for the event icons. We got 2 hours jam-packed of the biggest names in events for you to ask them a question. They're coming in for 15-minute interviews, and they're on their way. So you want to stick around. Share on social media so we can get a ton of people in this conversation. And we might as well just jump right in. We only have 15 minutes here. So I'm here with Tara. Tara is a badass from Meaning Pool, co-founder and CMO, correct? Is that the official title?
That is the official title.
And Tara actually was kind enough that we were looking to do the show live from the floor, and we need a space to do it, and Tara said, I got you. And she was so kind to make it happen.
No, it's our pleasure. Really is our pleasure.
We are so excited.
Can
you talk a little bit about what the technology area is at IMEX and what you're doing today?
Sure. We work in partnership with IMEX to provide tech education, and that is from a variety of perspectives, from folks on the floor here, from our perspective, through these tech bite sessions in this area throughout the time of IMEX. And we present all kinds of topics: ROI, breaking your Excel habit, project management tools, planning tools, hotel apps. There's a plethora of content for people to enjoy in a short amount of time.
Awesome. I've been noticing that a lot of the sessions are packed too. So like,
yes,
people are like hungry to know. Like, for example, you guys just did a presentation on Snapchat 101, right?
Yes.
So are you finding that a lot of these sessions that, I consider myself a really techie person, obviously being the AV guy I am, are the sessions really, really popular at, is it just because of IMEX, or are you guys, because you guys do these all over, right?
We do them all over at a range of types of events all over the world, from medical and pharma events to professional events for lawyers,
And they're just equally as packed.
They're really, because no one has the time to sort of research and consume all of the options for them in a variety of basically personal and professional productivity landscape.
Awesome.
So what we do is find different areas where they can perhaps make a change or an addition, and we give them some options with apps and process and some technology tips that might be useful.
Awesome. What do you think is if you had to give one tip to everyone who's coming here, so like, let's say you just put a repeater and you would just said the same thing over and over again, what would be the one tip this year that you're telling everybody?
Use the right tool for the task.
Okay.
The right tech tool for the task. It's not one size fits all mobile. It's not one size fits all event management. It's not one size fits all planning. You really have to look at what your needs are and look at the options in terms of tech tools that are going to help you do it more efficiently, going to help you do it more, in a workflow that makes sense for you, and going to help you drive your team to completion really successfully.
What's your one cool tech tool that you're using right now that you're loving?
Airtable.
Airtable.
Airtable is, a lot of people in this industry have what I like to call the obsession with Excel. And that obsession with Excel is really hurting people because it's on a shared folder, or it's just not prudent to continue to update a spreadsheet, which is a financial tool, not a planning tool anyway.
Totally.
So if you really need to use that kind of interface, a spreadsheet interface, Airtable is a great option, and it's a SaaS product that allows you to do everything you want online, share that, send it off to clients, and you still retain that cozy Excel feeling, yet a cool new polished tool.
So does it add on to Excel, or is it like...
No, it's just separate tool. It's a freemium model SaaS product.
Cool.
Just an in-the-cloud spreadsheet.
Awesome. Airtable.
Airtable. That's my big tool.
Well, I want to give a huge shout out to Meaning Pool, and
you.
also to Dancing Deer
Bakery.
Because they provided all the snacks for the session that everyone's enjoying.
Brownies.
If you're not here in person, you're missing out, so you want to be at IMEX next year so you can hang out with us next time. But thank you so much for being here, Tara. I really appreciate you. Rock so much. And,
alrighty.
We will, I'm sure I'll see you very soon.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Next up, man, we are moving so fast. We got someone, a surprise guest, who was able to come in at the last minute. You guys might recognize him. He's super famous in the events industry.
Hello.
Mr. Julius Lors, thank you for being here.
Hey, man, good to see you. I haven't seen you. Sorry if we do a little bit of housekeeping here.
I know. So I haven't seen you since last year's IMEX.
Yeah.
Event Tech of the Year.
Of course.
So,
where Endless Entertainment did an amazing AV job.
Thank you. That I didn't. I'll pay $20 later.
Of course. Only 20.
Well, how's the show been so far? I mean,
amazing.
So you live in Vegas now.
I live in Vegas.
So
I'm a local.
You've been just driving in for the show, or
driving in? I made it. I have my bag with me because with the road closures, I'm not.
Oh my God.
With the debate, and thank God they pulled the Rolling Stones concert last week.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's great. No, it's a different vibe being here and coming to the show. But equally amazing. Cool. It's always a great show to come to.
What's like the one coolest thing that you've seen so far? Because I mean, like you're a huge leader on technology, social media, everything basically events. What do you think's the one thing that you've seen so far that you think the people at home need to know about?
Absolutely. There's nothing cool at the moment.
Really?
No, not as much.
Yeah, you feel like this year's a downer.
There's a problem right now in the industry in terms of innovation. Come on, guys, step it up, because we need more of that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's great to be an app, it's great to be whatever, but we need more disruption. So of course there are great people doing cool things, but do we need a little bit more of that? And do we need more participation and more sort of innovation, even from the big guys? We have to be more demanding. When it gets, it's not just saying that it's cool just for the sake of saying it's cool. We need more than that.
And I think like last year too, it was like the pinnacle of event tech. I mean, obviously you had the award show and everything like that going on. Everyone was here, but it seems like there's a lot of people were missing this year too. Is that right?
I can't comment on numbers because I haven't been checking in people, but I don't know. I mean, is it about numbers though? I mean, yeah, of course we all feel that sometimes it may be missing, that there's not as much footfall.
Yeah.
But really, events are changing. I put a picture on Facebook yesterday about this very place where we are right now, the tech knowledge area.
The technology area.
And I was sitting right there, and I was looking like all these empty booths and people overflowing here listening to content. So that tells you a message. Of course, it's about making business and appointments and hosted buyers and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's also about, creating compelling reasons why we need to be here.
Absolutely.
So nobody likes to be sold at.
Absolutely.
There's 14 touch points on average before we make a sale. So how are you going to step it up? How are you going to offer me content that is valuable to me as a professional? How are you empowering me to be better at the job that I do, out of being an amazing company that is going to change my life, which most of the time doesn't.
Absolutely. I was going to say that you feel like the relationship. So I mean, the one thing that we've kind of learned.
Awesome. I'm talking about networking, okay? So you don't expect it to be in the usual places. Sometimes it's, amazing people I met through the run, high-fiving with them, let's take a full advantage of what they offer as well, other than just, the usual stuff.
Absolutely. Or just like going out and deciding to get burgers and beers on the first night.
Of course. Or getting hammered and then, showing up like that. This is an awful show.
And then they say, you're like, why are the lights so bright? Can they dim it a little bit?
Exactly. I mean, there's things, we have to step it up as well. But, it's exciting. There's nowhere, it's not depressing, at least, which is a good thing. They say that the tech area here is sold out. Wow. And there's new companies coming up as well.
Awesome.
So, it's a positive message for the industry.
Absolutely. Well, is there anything else that you want to share with the people at home that aren't here at IMEX that you want them to know about with the show? Anything coming up on your end that you want them to know about? Is your chance to share anything you got?
Not really. I mean, I've learned that I have to detach myself because I'm already out there a lot. So you get to see with the things that we do. If you read Event MB or whatever,
absolutely,
you'll find a way to engage with us. Make sure to find the time to be at these events. If you've never been there, it's a great experience to have. So even if you circulate around as a supplier, it's a great place to be at. So
Absolutely.
make time for that.
Absolutely. Well, keep up the crushing on the content. You guys are doing phenomenal.
We will.
I'm loving all the content you guys
We
are
will.
pushing.
Likewise.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Awesome, and I mean, we're just so honored to have you here,
Thank you for having me.
and so glad to see you. I'm sure we will catch up again soon.
Of course.
Don't go back home quite yet.
No, not yet. No, I'm gonna stay for the night.
Awesome.
MPI rendezvous.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rendezvous. That's the one place to be.
Exactly.
That's exactly.
We're
it.
going there.
Thank you so much, Julius. We appreciate
Thanks
you
for having
being
me.
here. You're a busy man. I know you got other things to get to,
I
but
do.
we will see you very soon.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Is that it?
Yeah, you're all good to go. Thank you, Julius. All right, next up, they're busy. Well, they're coming in hot and fast for these ones. Watch out for the cables. Yeah, you gotta watch out. We MacGyvered this webcam up here, and then we also got Mr. Mike. Correct? Yeah, they're all talking. They're also popular. The first guy we got up here, you may recognize this one.
What's up?
Is Aaron Kaufman. Aaron's a regular of the show now.
Yeah, I suppose.
This
right?
is your third
This is
time
like
on
my
the show.
trifecta.
Third time on the show. Make sure you're switched on too.
But I want to know how are you doing?
How am I doing?
Yes, we want to know
Yeah,
how you're doing.
we're interested in what you're thinking.
See, I knew this was going to happen. I was going to put the two biggest troublemakers in the
Yeah,
entire
absolutely.
event industry, Aaron
Absolutely.
Kaufman and Mike McAllen, together, and
Yep.
I knew I was going to be in trouble.
So first question, Will, how many styles of Endless Entertainment shirts do you own?
So 4.
4.
Well, plus polos.
We have the standard black golf.
Yeah, I have the lime green shirt
Uh-huh.
like this, and then the opposite, black with lime green.
Okay.
And then we have a special edition shirt we did for Emerald City Comic Con when we did their event that
Okay.
are blue because their colors were lime green. We couldn't
Okay.
wear the same colors.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Cool. All right. What's your take on that?
I think it's dynamite. The thing that I wondered is, like, who does your hair, Will? It always looks dynamite.
I actually do my hair myself. I can't afford a stylist quite
Okay.
yet.
But a hot shave. You go for a hot shave every now and again?
Occasionally, but
Okay.
mainly dry razor, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
You guys,
So prep earlier.
Yeah.
you guys are prepared for this one.
Sure.
I'd ask you a few.
But real quick, before we jump in further, audience, all you guys out on the interwebs, you guys are starting to use the chat feature pretty well.
Live audience.
Yeah.
The live audience. We would love for you guys to ask questions. We have Mike and Aaron here. You have 15 minutes with these guys to ask them anything you want to know. So
Sure.
let's kick it off. So Mike, I know you're up to a couple different things. You want to talk a little bit about some of the awesome stuff you've been up to with the content. Have been noticing the podcast has been doing some epic news stories every week as well.
Been doing a lot of podcasting. We do 5 podcasts a week now.
5 podcasts a week.
Yeah, we do 5. There's 5 to 10 minute podcasts called the Meetings Podcast. I know you're a big listener.
Absolutely. Every week.
And basically, it's news from the internet. We cover other blogs. Your
Yep.
blog. You have a blog? I don't know. I haven't read
I
your
do. I do now.
blog. Do you have a blog?
Yeah. I'll send you the link.
Right away.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
But it's 5 to 10 minutes every morning, so you can get a little news, what's going on in the industry, and then it points back to all of these, to Endless and other companies that we're featuring.
That's cool. Very cool. And then, so Aaron, I know you're really, really actively involved in reading a lot of the content on.
Sure.
What cool content have you been seeing out there on the interwebs, other than obviously Mike's awesome podcast?
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I see a lot of actually. One of the neat things is I get to spend a lot of time doing research, and it's part of what I think makes a good professional in the industry. And I'm happy to read all sorts of content, but the thing that was super interesting to me was a couple of weeks ago the Penton sale, and I've been reading a lot about that inside of the industry, and I don't know if that's something that...
Can you explain what that is for those who don't know, aka me?
Yeah, Penton owns Special Event Magazine.
Oh, that's right.
And, of course, the Special Event
Oh,
Show,
yeah.
amongst other things, and a European company has bought the company.
Wow.
Bought Penton. So that should be an interesting change for the North American market, considering that TSE is one of the
Such a huge
biggest
one.
event shows.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And so I'd like to know, what do you think of Laura Lopez as a podcast partner?
Laura's been awesome, actually.
'Cause usually she doesn't. She's not. She doesn't show up, right?
She's been doing awesome. I feel bad
Yeah.
because I've been traveling so much. Laura's actually been hosting the show more than I have.
How did you meet Laura?
Met her online. So we actually have never met face to face, and we just
Really?
run the whole podcast together.
Interesting.
And I see Sean all the time because obviously he's in Phoenix
Yeah,
too.
I
But
didn't know that. I've heard that.
yeah,
It's interesting.
and then we're taking over. It's Arizona people. We're bringing burritos
Cool.
to you.
And did you know that Laura is a DJ, and she DJs with 45 style records, which is really interesting. And she's in a gold onesie, generally. Yeah.
All the time, just for recording or just in general?
I think she records in it, and I think she sleeps in it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
You guys are outrageous right now. The question I want to ask you, Aaron, is
My turn.
well,
Actually, you already asked him.
Well,
Dude,
we bounce
don't piss him off.
around. You're throwing me out.
He's a big
So we'll go
dude.
back and forth. So we'll
Okay.
go Aaron, then we'll go you next.
Okay, cool.
So Aaron, you're an actual. So we had a whole discussion about this, whether we call them planners, designers,
Sure, yeah.
you know, all these
Yeah.
things like that.
Yep.
Shit, Event Planners Say episode, which
Yep.
all you guys should check out.
Absolutely.
Aaron's episode.
Cool.
Well, whatever you want, we want to call you.
Yeah.
You're here as a planner
Yeah.
for the event. How has the experience of IMEX been for you as a planner? You know, whether it's being able to have all suppliers in once to be able to talk to them, or fellow event planners to talk to. What's been the highlight for you as an event planner?
Sure. What do you think about that, Mike?
Well, I don't like that question at all. I'd like you to get a different question if that's.
I'd like to pass on that question. Can I have another one?
That was my one question I had lined up for here in the 15 minutes.
What kind of podcast are you? Okay, so
Well, we're waiting for the audience questions to come in.
and they're not coming in, so that means we're not doing a very good job. Come on, people.
What are you guys doing right now?
So here's the thing. Honestly, I think there's still a huge divide in the industry, right? And I did a podcast very early on Tuesday morning. We talked a lot about collaboration being really a big key to 2017 and going forward. You know, I find that when I'm sitting down in a lot of the meetings here as a planner and a producer, I want to talk to them about their destination. I want to understand how to bring people to their destination. But I also, as somebody who's a professional in a fairly large city, go Toronto, I want to know what's the best way to also work with them on bringing business into the city, because I think that a lot of people go to CVBs and suppliers and they want to say, where should we go? What should we do, right? And I think one of the things that I find about this show is you're just being sold to constantly. And as a hosted buyer, I'm supposed to go to 8 meetings a day for 3 days.
Woo.
And one of the shitty parts about that is that I sit down with a technology company, 30 minutes later I'm with a CVB, 30 minutes later I'm with some random association person,
I forgot about the guys 3 guys ago.
and I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
Right? You get tired, right? I heard you did the walk.
Yeah, I did.
I heard you were tired.
Run.
Yeah, the run.
Yep.
Walk.
Me and Julius were just talking about that. Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so
Go ahead.
and so that's what that's kind of my take on it. I love seeing everyone get together. I just wish that there was more opportunity for, I guess, the people who are exhibiting to get together ahead of time and kind of talk about strategy. Because there's no strategy.
No.
Right? It's just bullshit. Sit down, like, what can I do for you? What can you do for me? Okay, thanks.
Very
And my
transactional.
30-minute meeting is generally 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
I'm finding, there's a couple of good contacts here and there, but ultimately,
Shallow.
yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Because this is the first year we haven't had a booth.
So I was going to ask you, so this is the
Yeah.
first time you haven't had this, so you're used to
It's-
have host buyers
And
coming
I
to you.
didn't like just exactly what he's saying. It was just like, the person with glaze, after they've talked to other people and, you've done your pitch to them, it would kind of glaze, just from being exhausted like the second day. And you're right, it was hard to get a good strategy involved to really nail these people, because they are running around all over the place. And half of it is them running up sweating trying to find you.
Yep.
And did you find most of the people just really didn't know a lot about what they were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind
And
of
a lot of
selected.
people, and this is not a knock on people in other countries, but a lot of these Chinese companies would come and they
Yep.
have no idea what you're doing, and you've taken up, now you're explaining it, but there's
Sure.
no way you're going to. I'm saying Chinese companies, but it was this 2 Chinese companies that came and they had no idea. They thought we were something totally different.
Oh, wow.
They did no research on their own.
They're
when
completely
they were making
disconnected.
their appointments. So
Wow.
So when I went to my hotel earlier, I met a nice young lady by the name of Omarosa, and I'd really like to know what the both of you think of Omarosa.
I don't know what Omarosa is.
You don't know?
the one.
Yeah, Omarosa. Yeah,
that show?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because I'm supporting from Canada, right? So and I'm being hosted at the Trump Hotel.
Stay at the Trump Hotel.
Yes, and my new friend Omarosa was there. So
So for
Really?
yeah.
so
Funny.
for you don't know at home, we know about it because we're having to deal with it. But the as Julius mentioned, the debate is happening here, as well as the Rolling Stone concert, as well as this.
And
Wait, who?
it was canceled though. Did you hear that?
They canceled it.
Yeah,
Really?
because, Mick Jagger has laryngitis.
Oh no way.
It's
Well,
like
one
never
less
happened.
big event,
Yeah.
but there's still the people probably in town for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's still
Okay.
chaotic, right?
okay, those people must be pretty pissed off.
Yes. They
Yeah.
must be
That's not going to help with Trump in
No,
town.
but I heard they got free
No.
tickets to the debate.
Okay.
So my question is, what's your guys been
You want to
kind of?
punish
Have
the
you guys?
poor.
Have you guys been seeing the? Have you guys been seeing the effects of these 3 massive events happening simultaneously?
I have not.
in the
Because I've
city?
been here.
I mean, I've been staying
sure.
at Trump, right? So I just
Crazy.
left there, and your next vice president, Mr. Pence, was there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is
And
it full of Trump supporters?
oh,
Or
it's
is it-
like Secret Service and everything is
Ah,
Yesterday I met a
interesting.
great group of people who are trying to make America great again.
Yeah,
That's what they
yeah,
told me.
well, yeah.
And Nick Rowley's on the show after, and he's trying to make IMEX great again.
Yes.
Is that right?
And
Yeah, with a little bit of locker room talk.
some locker room
He's
talk.
he's grabbing IMEX by the good old vagina. So
Oh, can't say that.
I mean, he gets
I can't say
the
that?
drink
Can't
that
say
you
that.
bet.
I can't say that.
President, you can't say that.
oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's okay. It's my phone that I
That's
didn't mute.
Wait, you didn't turn your phone off?
I didn't turn my phone off.
That's incredibly rude.
I'm an incredibly horrible AV person, but
You know,
Here.
yeah.
we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna mute it right now, so I stop getting calls.
And you know, I mean, I could do this for a very long time, but can you give me a 10-second warning before we're done so I can drop the mic?
Please don't. Those are very nice mics that I bought for this show.
Okay. You bought these for the show?
Yeah, I bought them for the show.
Is that why the price tag's still on so you can return it after?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's the
They
AV,
They are very nice, yeah.
AV secret. If you forget something, it's to go to the store and buy it and then return it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Known for Best Buy.
So, Wilkern, what are you seeing as a top trend going into 2017?
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna talk about that until December because I got so much. I gotta get through this year first.
So you don't have an answer for that?
Don't have an answer, but
Okay.
I think it's been relationships now. At this point, we're getting to the point where Twitter might be gone soon. Social media,
Okay.
that everyone's disbanded across multiple social networks, but
Okay.
maybe it's about the relationships.
So it's
now.
back to old school business, IRL.
Yep,
Okay,
IRL.
IRL.
Yep.
All right.
Do you guys use Twitter?
I mean,
Still use it all?
We use Twitter. We got a live Twitter stream right here. So if you guys are watching right now and you
cool.
use hashtag event icons on Twitter, it will go up on the screen. So
Do you guys use Twitter normally? I mean, just back and forth with people during the day, or
don't know.
things like this?
it's more so like, hey, share the cool information that you got.
Yeah,
But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not generally chatting via
Yeah.
Twitter, I don't think.
yeah.
No,
No.
it's not my thing.
Then
really.
again,
It
not-
used to be so much more.
Yeah.
It's changed so much. Like, I'd ask a question on there and I get 10 answers.
Right.
Exactly.
Now
Yeah.
there's nothing. It's just
Yeah, now it's. I
Cool.
think people don't even read each other's Twitters.
no. It's just like
No.
a constant stream. But it's great for this kind of.
I just press the heart a bunch of times to keep my cloud score up.
Oh,
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then you
I
get
gotta
the free
do that.
stuff.
Yeah,
I gotta do
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
I gotta do that.
Speaking of free stuff, what's the coolest free stuff that you have found? Wow, I can't talk. Anything really cool?
Nothing really that exciting.
So when I was at the Australia booth and they had the ginger beers and this grape drink, and I had the
booze
stream
and
drink.
stuff. Oh,
Cool.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I had some bourbon over in the Kentucky.
Free
yesterday.
drinks.
That
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I got one of those chargers. Yeah, like those little phone chargers.
I heard the
That one,
airlines have all the chargers.
Yeah.
ILEA has them too.
ILEA has them.
Yeah, so everyone head over to ILEA.
Head over to the ILEA booth. I
I
haven't
got
been
one
over
from
to
the
the ILEA booth.
event collab actually.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
the event club. So the
Yeah.
tech area is a great place to get all the cool
Yeah.
tech stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got some Garrett popcorn yesterday, which I was super excited about, and I got to buy one get one free to Jamba Juice. So
Do they even
Wow,
have Jamba
that's a
Juice
good
in
one.
Canada?
yeah, we have a couple.
Okay.
Yeah. We also have some Jugo Juice and a bunch of other juice type related stores.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, juice, right?
Yeah, juice.
It's good. It's good
Go on,
juice.
tell
Yeah.
me.
These
yeah,
guys are out of control over here.
Yeah. So what's your next question, sir?
So the question I kind of want to end on, is there anything you guys, like cool resources or anything that you guys want to share?
Right.
Anything cool you're working on that you want to kind of share with everybody out there in the interwebs?
What do you think?
Go?
No, you go.
We've kind of rolled out with I'm back doing more of my production company stuff. We're rolling out. We have been rolling out more of a morning announcement kind of thing at an event. You go to an event and you're doing all this, creating all this content, but you're not. It's kind of dies. But I'm working with eTech. eTech, Tom Brandt.
No,
They're
no.
out in Florida, and they network the whole events. And so the plasma
Cool.
screens. So we want the plasma screens to be more what's happening right now. So when you walk by it, you actually can see what's going on right now.
It's actually valuable
It's
information.
actually real valuable information. And
Cool.
we're trying to build within the agenda where you can come in and there'll be videos,
Ooh.
stuff that's happening right then. So if you're standing in line, you're not just walking by and seeing some eye candy. It's actual
Awesome.
information.
So you've seen they have it out in the entranceway, the news channel that's going on.
Yeah.
So they have like a conference TV or something like that.
Yes.
They have an IMEX TV channel.
CNTV, yeah.
And showing that. What are your thoughts on that? Is that very similar to kind of what you guys are trying to pull off?
It's just kind of they're very good. They're really good. They are.
But it
I like
requires
them.
way more production.
But
level.
it's just different. It's the same actually, but different. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I've actually talked to them a little bit about it. It's shooting shorter things for the screen that's actual stuff. When you're doing the interviews, say, hey, let's do a couple of little nuggets of short that we can throw out, short information that we can show, but just do it in advance. Maybe when you get on site, then there's stuff that you can push out later. I think that's a lot of later pushing, but they do stuff for the hotels, right?
Cool.
That's their main thing.
Very cool. So it's a ton of hotels. Oh, this conference TV
Yeah,
people.
they'll do
I've
that.
never seen it before here.
Yeah, they'll go into the host hotels and they'll throw they'll bring the DVD every night and it plays on one of the channels.
See, that's clever. It'd be good for it to go into the TV channel too, so you could get a recap of what happened at the conference.
Yes.
You know, like in your hotel room, want to see what happened that day. Boom.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So I'm just helping them with their product development, apparently.
No, well, and that's what they do. I mean, they do that. I don't know if it's what happened that day, not what's happening tomorrow.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is that what? Because I mean, I remember they showed off the run, so maybe they're using it to promote more things coming in the future rather than things in the past.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
a big time ad roll.
Forth, yeah.
More ads. More ads.
More ads.
What about you, Aaron? What's coming cool you want to share with the interwebs?
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of things. Number one, I want to thank Laura Lopez for having us.
Yes, that was very.
So that was absolutely. She did a great job, and
great.
she's
Is she here?
she's awesome. Well, she's here, sorta.
She's here in the.
She's writing LOL, OLOL, OMG,
Ah,
stuff like that.
I'd like to
So
meet her.
yeah, she's I'd like to meet her too one day. I've never met her,
Wear the
but
gold thing?
but she says I'm her favorite somewhere on here.
She said, "So sad to be missing this episode. Ton of
Yeah.
rap people being interviewed."
But she did say I was her favorite on there. Yeah, that's really nice.
Well, I
That's
got
where
That's a typo.
someone new will follow me.
That's totally
So that's
understandable,
nice.
though.
Thank you, Laura. Number one. Number two, I just want to say I know that you have a lot of high-profile people coming on this show, so thank you for having me. However, I feel a little ripped off because you got a big furry black hat thing, and I don't have one.
I mean, if you want to
Right.
trade mics, that's not a problem at all.
Yeah,
Shout out to-
actually, I'd like to do that. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Fancy mic.
Right? But it's
It's icicle thing for.
I don't know.
so
Why is the bottom
so
vibrating?
shout out to Brand Cougar.
It's vibrating.
Brand gave me his mic that we needed another mic because
Ew.
we had so many
I'm
guests.
touching Brant's vibrating mic.
It's not a button.
All right, thanks, Brant. What am I looking at right now? I'm actually, to be honest with you, I've stopped looking at stuff
Okay.
because there's too much to look at. And I think one of the things that I'm noticing right now is when I talk to technology people and all sorts of people that it's all the same shit, right? People are doing it a little bit different, but I'm sitting down with people now and I'm not asking what does your platform do? I'm asking what is the thing that it doesn't do, right? So when they're separating themselves from each other, it's not the things that they're doing. They're all, for example, all the sites are doing registration and they're doing all this and that. They're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't need to follow that anymore. What I need to know is, if I'm going to use one of them, what's the fundamental thing that it can't do that other ones are doing, right?
Interesting.
Because they're all doing the same thing. The thing that I'm really focused on right now inside the industry is watching people, right? And I'm, a lot of the people you'll have on over the next couple of hours, I've been watching closely, obviously, because I think it's people that are about to
And I think, okay, I think we're back. I think we're working now.
Testing.
You got a lot of live shows and running off of. So, fun fact about the Wi-Fi here, by the way, is that there's literally 300 Wi-Fi networks in the span of like 2 feet. So, if this show goes down again, please hang in there, audience, and we love you guys. But back to the show. We have two amazing guests today. One of which has been a longtime viewer of the show.
Longtime viewer, first-time guest.
So excited to have you here, Alex Plasson, and Mr. Xander Castro in the house as well.
Hello.
Fun fact about Xander actually used to write content for Endless too, so I love him very much. He's very brilliant mind.
Great times.
So, really quickly, if you guys can give an idea of what you guys are up to, what are you guys doing these days? You know, what's your big thing that you're working on?
So, I started my company in January, so we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary. I have a company called Little Bird Told Media. We do social media strategy and implementation for conferences and trade shows. So we've got a really big show coming up next month in New York at Javits Center with 12,000 attendees. So that's going to be pretty wild. I'm excited about that. And I'm getting a lot of speaking gigs. So I'm here at IMEX. I'm speaking. I just finished up
Speaking like every single 5 minutes.
Every 5 minutes. And if I'm not speaking, I'm tweeting. But I'm also going to be speaking at PCMA Convening Leaders, the special event coming up in January, both of them back-to-back. So it's very exciting.
If you guys ever need an amazing live tweeter, this guy live tweets like nobody's business.
That's right.
I'm sure you've been live tweeting the icons as we go along. So definitely follow Alex. He's the man on Twitter. And then we got the man, Xander Castro. So, Xander, I know you kind of took a different spin with your company. You know, everyone else is focusing on the big guys. They want the IBMs, the Dreamforces. You decided to go a different route. Can you tell everybody what you're up to?
Yeah, so I own a company called Startup Event Solutions. I work with small businesses and startups to produce events that they want to incorporate either into their marketing or operations portfolios. So we do events that range from 5 to 10 person corporate retreats, talking about C-level executives that are interested in throwing together some. You all good? You good?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I was like, oh no, did it go out again?
No, you're good.
Throwing together some corporate retreats along those lines. I do a lot of educational conferences, client-facing conferences, product launches. I chose to go the small route or kind of form my niche because, as you said, everybody is really gunning for the top, and I hate to claim the term of racing to the bottom because, you know, we're seeing a lot of that lately. But I have a unique passion for people who are really eager to get something launched and get something moving. And I think that's one of the great parts about working with startups is that the energy and the passion that they have, you can wrap that into an event and share it with their guests and attendees, and it doesn't need to be this massive production. There are other companies that are doing massive events. And I am more than happy to take on projects like that. I see my competitive advantage is that I am able to work with my clients at a really intimate level and really get into the nitty-gritty of why they want to create an event, how it's going to change their startup, and why live events are a really significant portion of their marketing strategy.
And I think from like a business perspective, it's brilliant because Google started somewhere. Facebook started somewhere.
Ding, ding, ding. Yes, that is the other side of it, is that as I have just launched, I launched this company in 2014, and so I am still personally in startup phase right now, and as I'm working with the client base that I have, I'm able to really work as a partner on producing these events that in the future we're looking to make expansions, and you start finding those Googles and those Ubers who started off in a garage, and you start realizing, oh, I am your preferred partner in producing your events, so you kind of that has been part of the goal as well.
I will also work with startups.
There you go. There you go. So my question for you guys is, so obviously with you guys both being 30 under 30s and being really awesome in your 20s, what has your guys' perspective been of IMEX and coming to this convention? You know, like, is there something that they're doing really well to attract our kind of audience? Or is there something that they need to improve on? What are your thoughts?
So this is my second time at IMEX. My first time was 3 years ago, and I came as a student. So that was a really unique perspective to come as part of the Future Leaders Forum, and then now to come from, as someone said, from being a student to now being a teacher and actually speaking here is a unique experience. And I think one of the things that they do really well is if you're attending, they don't care what size your event is or how big or how small or how old your company is or how old you are. We're all business professionals. We're all working together to make our events better, to be partners with each other. And I think that's one of the really unique things is they aren't separating, okay, well, these are the young professionals. These are, you know, the seasoned professionals. We're all just professionals. And I think as millennials, that's one thing that we try and strive for is, no, like, we're not different. We're not that different. We're just younger. And so I think that's one of the things that IMEX does really well is they don't highlight, like, your age.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty unique in this industry. I think a lot of people are trying to go in the other direction of creating unique content specifically for millennials. I don't always think that's necessary.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Xander, what are your thoughts?
I think that one of the things they do really well is that they pay their hosted buyers to be here. So I am lucky enough to be a hosted buyer here for the program, and the reason that I love IMEX is just that it really serves as a one-stop shop to produce an entire event on an international level. So I came here last year and was able to source an entire program that I was hosting in Barcelona in one day. I was able to meet with certain vendors who already had my RFP, so that was amazing. That is less about kind of our generation and youth, but I think that's obviously one of the main benefits of coming to IMEX.
Awesome.
I think one of the things that they do really, really well when it comes to really offering opportunities for folks in our generation to either offer input into the way that the industry is being shaped or the way that the industry interacts with both audiences and planners, suppliers that are our age, is that they, as Alex said, they don't really give regard, the exhibitors here and the other attendees don't really give regard to age. It's not something that comes up in a conversation. Nobody's walking up to me and saying, hey, how old are you? Okay, I can't talk to you.
Yeah.
Hey, can't you put your age on your badge? No, nobody's doing that. So that's obviously a nice perk, and it's a societal norm to not do that. So
awesome.
I guess that's not really as innovative as we're looking for. But yeah, I think that IMEX has a great ability to open young professionals' eyes as to how expansive this industry is, and I think that they do a fantastic job of creating opportunities for those eye-opening moments.
Absolutely. Awesome.
I also think that IMEX recognizes how intimidating a show like IMEX can be for someone who's new to the industry.
So I was going to ask you guys about that. You guys have both been to this now twice, multiple times.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts for making it for newcomers, maybe some 20s, people in their 20s who want to come and they're newbies to IMEX? What's your recommendations for making it, navigating this huge, massive event?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, for starters, if you're a student, if you're in school and you're studying event management, which for some people in this industry, that's a novelty in itself. They're like, we didn't have that when I was your age. But as a student, to have the opportunity to come to something like the Future Leaders Forum and get a taste of what the show is like, they walk you through it, they help you, they show you how to navigate the show floor, things like that. So I think that's really unique in itself. But for someone who may be new to the industry or, you know, had a job and is now in this industry, who is also a young professional, I think finding a mentor is something that's really going to help you. I see a lot of people walking around the show floor with each other. Go on Twitter, see who's tweeting about the event this year, and then reach out to them and say, you know, I'm new to the industry. I'm going to IMEX for the first time this year. I'd love to talk to you about your experience and, you know, any tips and tricks or ways to navigate the show floor. I'd really appreciate it. And most people will say yes. So, I mean, that's one tip.
Almost everyone is going to say yes. I completely agree with that. I think reaching out to either people that are within your own city, I think one of the great things about IMEX is that almost every city in a major city in the country, and even minor city in the country, at least the U.S. is represented. And then you have the entire expanse of the international network that are attending as well. You have the ability to reach out to someone who is in your network, in your city, using your associations that you are a part of locally, whether it's ILEA or MPI or PCMA or SITE, or any of these amazing organizations that are offering great student programming. You have mentorship opportunities there as well, and it's likely that at least one person from either your local chapter or a chapter that is nearby is going to be willing and eager to work with you and introduce you to introduce you to the beast that is IMEX.
That's awesome. So would you guys say that you would consider yourselves open for people to reach out to you guys to say, hey,
No.
show me, take me out of the way?
No, not at all. No, of course. I think one of my historic passions in this industry, and historic being the 8-ish years that I have been in it and the 3 that I've been in business, is the opportunity to mentor up-and-coming leaders within the industry. It's something that I had a lot of passion about when I was in college, doing student programming and working with fellow students to put together these great experiences that our student body was able to have, really building up that experience and creating opportunities for young professionals to do better, I think is something I'm extremely passionate about. So do give me a call, tweet me. I'll be happy to meet up with you for sure.
Absolutely. I would not have been able to start my company if I had not had the mentors in this industry to help me out. And I'm very active with the MPI and PCMA, and so a lot of those people help me out. But also, I've had the opportunity to mentor as well. And one thing that people have to realize with mentorship is age is not a factor. I have had mentees who are younger than me. I've had mentees who are older than me. I've had mutual relationships with the mentor-mentee where we've taught each other things. So it's really figuring out what you want from a mentor and then finding the right person to do it. That's actually something that I'm very passionate about, which is why my session at the special event is on mentorship. It's not on social media, it's on mentorship.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we only got a couple more minutes left, so my question to you guys is what cool resources or anything like that you guys want to share with the interwebs? Any cool tools, any cool articles, companies, or things you've seen on the show floor that you want to share with everyone? Seems like Xander's got one in his head.
No, to be honest, I have gotten so many amazing resources from Will specifically that I have now integrated into a couple of my processes. And I know that he has talked about plenty of these before. So you have that repository well available. You are pretty masterful when it comes to the utilization of tools to improve processes. Some of the amazing things that are available on the show floor or industry-wise. One of the things I love to talk about is the Search Foundation, which I think is something that a couple of people that have spoke on this have addressed. The Search Foundation is a nonprofit organization that supports meeting and event professionals in crises. And so the work that they do is really just to support you as an event professional if you ever run into something that is out of the normal or that causes some sort of financial distress or emotional distress that you need support along. It's run by some of the top leaders of the industry, and they're doing incredible work to really support folks within the industry. On a less wonderful level, I would say that one of the cool products that I saw that I am really interested in learning more about is around the corner here, and I believe it's called Markin. It's an automation tool for hotel venue or hotel sourcing, so it's intelligent automation. It even automatically goes through negotiation processes. I will have to get the actual name of that for you. Unfortunately, I did not commit that one.
We'll post in the event resources, so for those who don't know, we'll record this and throw it on the blog.
Yeah,
so check that out. We'll put the official link.
Just a caveat there, I haven't used it, so it may be awful. I'm doubting that it is. It looks great. It looks like a really, really awesome platform, but I'm excited to explore that a little bit. Similarly, I really enjoyed a booth that was right over in the tech corner here called Bizly, which is a small meeting venue sourcing platform. So it's an integration with hotel inventory on small meeting spaces, and it lets you select them. Their entire interface is based off of Uber's interface, so they say it feels very familiar. So it's a really cool tool.
Awesome, awesome. Alex, what about you? What would be your resource?
The Twitter search function.
Old school over here.
No, to be honest, I think people use it incorrectly. or don't use it at all. And I think it is a great resource for connecting and networking with people. If you know of an industry event that's going on and you can't make it, search for the hashtag and start connecting with people who are there. I have participated in events that I have never gone to, and people are like, awesome, can we meet for lunch? And I'm like, I'm not there. But I'd be happy to have a phone call with you after the show.
Cool.
But, you know, doing that to network with other event professionals, using the event event icons hashtag, things like that to find out who else is out there. For social media, for myself, I use Buffer, I use Mentions, which is really great. For my clients, I use Event Collab, which is fantastic. They're here on the show floor. So, you know, those are just some of the resources that I use to do my business and in the events world. So.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we're out of time. I know we're going to get you guys back on for your own episodes real soon, so we'll look forward to that. But thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are so honored to have you both here.
Thank you for having us.
I hope you guys have a good show.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. We're on to the next group. So this one, we decided to spin it up a little bit. So we've had a little bit of suppliers, planners. We've had a little bit of everybody. This time I thought we'd talk a little bit to the people who share the news with you today. So in the house we have Maren Bright from Smart Meetings and Adam Perry from eventindustry.co.uk. Awesome. I'm glad if you guys want to grab the mics and make sure you guys are switched on and good to go. So I hope you don't mind that I grabbed you at the last minute, Adam.
No, no problem.
And so, you just want to plug it on in. Oh, right here. Let's see. It's all good. As long as we get you good to go. You want to see if you want to test it real quick? Oh, you know what? Let's see. This is the live funness of doing this show. This is why it's good that we have an AV guy in charge, too. All right, go ahead and test it real quick. You know what we'll do is we'll pass the microphone back and forth. And we'll get that figured out in just a sec. So, all right. So my question to you guys. So you guys obviously both run two huge, event industry media companies, right? And you guys are covering.
No, this is
everything
actually
that's here.
such a
What have you guys been seeing that's been, a big highlight for you through the entire show?
Floor.
For the show. I think that it's getting record attendance, which is awesome. I think that the industry is still very strong, and the appointment matched is taken off, and it was big in Europe, and now at the start, us Americans weren't really embracing being corralled and having appointments and doing all of that, but we've come around, and I think that there's a great buzz, and it's really exciting. How about you?
For me, I think that what's great about IMEX is how efficient it makes the whole process. For me personally, from the UK, to try and see everybody that I know out in the US, it would take me weeks to travel around. To get everybody here under one roof for 3 days really makes that process efficient and generates a huge amount of just peripheral networking opportunities and serendipity by people be able to just meet in different places at different events and different bars that surround the event as well. At the trade show, I'm a tech guy at heart. I love the technology here. It's great to see this area growing and new companies coming in and the companies that are founded developing that technology for use at events. So yeah, that's the sweet spot for me with IMEX here.
Awesome. And Adam, you just started up your own event tech show as well, right? An award show.
Well, Event Tech Live and the Event Technology Awards, which are our two shows that take place next month on the 9th, they're in the 4th year now. So the Event Technology Awards...
See, I'm wrong. I thought I just started up.
That's
I can't say top on everything.
It's more probably because it's known more over in Europe than it has been in the US, maybe. Although we've had companies like Double Dutch and Seabent and stuff exhibit and also enter the awards for those amount of time. So. Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. And Maren, what about you? What is Smart Meetings doing to integrate events into what you guys are doing?
Hello.
And I actually pronounce my name Marin. It's okay. It's all right. It's like Marin County. I get it all the time, so I'm used to it. Martin, whatever. We started appointment-based meetings before anybody else was doing it. So we're really into this kind of hosted by dating one-on-one appointment. And we do them all over the country, one a month. And so we're constantly hosting buyers. We see a lot of our buyers here, a lot of our customers here. As a matter of fact, Dancing Deer is one of our biggest customers. So events, we do TV, we do certainly a lot of digital and website, and then the print as well.
Yeah, try that. That should work.
So what's your guys' perspective? I mean, that's been a huge buzz of this conversation. Is I've been talking to a lot of hosted buyers, and the fact that they have to be at 8 appointments a day, and they have so much to go through. Do you guys feel like that's a good system from you guys completely on the outside as media, kind of evaluating this event? Do you guys feel like it works really, really well?
We just
From teams who have come on their own, and they can be hosted by one of the Las Vegas hotels and then go on their own schedule and do what they want. But truly, 8 appointments a day is not that rigorous. I would think that that's pretty easy compared to smart meetings, but I hesitate to say that. What do you think?
Over in the UK, it's probably not as prevalent that we have hosted buyers. So for me, it's a relatively new thing. I don't think for me personally it would work because I like to be able to change at any one minute and kind of come across people over my own volition. But I suppose in terms of from an exhibitor point of view, it really helps the event pay for itself because 8 meetings, even if 4 of those are really, really good quality, high quality, qualified, 2 of those turn into follow-up and 1 turns into client, then the event's paid for itself essentially. So from a risk aversion point of view, it helps with that, I think. The only downside to it is 8 meetings, 8 hours in a day. You have to have a conversation with somebody, maybe have to put the conversation short to go on to the next meeting. So yeah, I think it works for some, maybe not for others, but down to personal.
Awesome. So you feel like it's designed very much so for the exhibitors rather than the host buyers, because obviously the host buyers get to go for free and everything. That's right.
Both get a good benefit. Hello.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm wondering, what's big in media right now for the events industry? So I was talking to, Adam and everything like that about this. We eventually want to do a panel where we get all of you guys together to talk about this. But what's the big thing in the events industry media, and what's changing that's making you guys have to stay on your toes?
Oh, for sure. Well, you have to be everywhere now. Social media is huge for us. We do so much in the way of video now, and like you're doing, live broadcasting, Facebook Living. I see that happening a lot at this show. I think technology is it's part of our world now.
Let's do it.
We're gingerly embracing it, and as a media company, we have to be everywhere now. It's not just print, but you have to have the event, you have to have the video, you have to have the online, and all the everything that goes with it. So.
It makes you a very busy person.
No rest for the weary.
I'd have to totally agree where, we're an online company, so we don't actually have to worry about an element, which allows us to be a bit more into podcasts and video content. But
do you ever feel like you need to go into print? That you want it, because they've talked about that with like some companies, they moved from digital to print, and now a lot of print companies have to move digital.
I don't feel we need to because there's some excellent magazines out there that serve very, very well. I'm not sure whether we could add any value by producing another publication, especially in the UK. We then put our efforts that we would put into that into our other elements, such as like video. We go to lots of events for the crew, film behind the scenes, film the production companies, the organisers. So we put our efforts there rather than. I come from a print background, and it was hell for me personally. But yeah, I think the thing that's really engaging at the moment, and if you look at platforms like Facebook and stuff, it's video. There's more video being watched than anything else now on those platforms. You can put like without the sound on, so now everything's been getting subtitled because people are watching stuff at work without having to listen to it. So that's
exactly. I can read really fast now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but print is not dead. I have to say, people are so engaged in our magazine and smart meetings. I hear at the booth people coming by constantly, talking about. I think you have to be everywhere. You have to come on all levels.
All right. Wait, are we going?
Content is king no matter which way.
Yeah, I'll meet you guys there.
A huge generational landscape as well. You've got people that are just starting out in event management, whether they're students or they're just going into their first roles, and then you've got veterans that have been in the industry for 4 years. And you have to kind of serve each one and how they want to interact with
That's
information.
right. Everybody takes it a different way.
So you guys brought up video. It's very fascinating you bring it up. That was obviously a big decision on us to make this a video podcast. We want people to see the faces of the event icons versus just doing audio.
Sure.
Where do you guys see that you guys are doing to kind of engage with video? Are you guys doing like any, sort of, big short videos? Like what are you guys doing and what do you see?
So we have a TV show here. We started it 2 years ago
Awesome.
at IMEX. We were doing IMEX Live. I think before anybody, we have Mike Lyons here, who is our TV host. He's actually a TV star in his own right, and he's
Awesome.
Started MPI. And so we're doing a lot of snippets. We have a game show that we're videoing at our booth. So we've embraced it full on.
Awesome.
And you have to get people, I think, engaged in your brand. Make it fun.
Absolutely.
Give them snippets.
And give them something to watch at work, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. If I see anybody watching it at work.
Give them the whip.
That's right. There you go.
Adam, what about you? What are you guys doing in video?
We've approached video the same way that you approach editorial. You do some long-form content, more in-depth stuff. You do some short, quick stuff. Maybe even do some stuff that leads into a fully featured video. Especially on social media, that really works to capture people's attention to kind of like, do I want to watch this?
Right.
We also record on video our podcast because I think people like to see the elements of people's expression and attitude and how they're interacting with each other. With that, though, we've kind of reduced the time element of our podcast. We started off with like 45 minutes. Now we're down to like 15, 20.
Wow.
Just on the analytics for the podcasts and stuff. Just on the analytics. It's attention span. Yeah.
I give props to everyone out there right now who watches this for an hour. I mean, it's awesome.
Exactly.
I think this format works great, though, because you kind of getting, it's not just me talking for 45 minutes with you, you're getting other people in. So this is
it's moving really fast.
Full engagement. I did an interesting interview yesterday with American Express. Their meetings and events survey. It's a big deal.
Ooh.
They just came out.
What are they doing?
They do the annual meetings and events survey.
Awesome.
It's like the industry standard, the gold standard of what are people saying.
Absolutely.
So we got the hot trends right off the press from them
Cool.
yesterday. And what they were saying is there is a slowdown. There is a little bit of uncertainty right now with the election. And not that it's completely flipping, but the biggest trend that they're seeing is security and safety.
Ooh.
With people at meetings and events.
Boom! That was my one. That was my one trend last year or this year, I guess.
Yeah, and it's huge. That's what they said. Everybody's talking about. So.
Wow, interesting. What sort of trends are you seeing?
Exactly the same. I mean, security's always been there. Where England itself is just coming out of Brexit. It's coming out of the European Union, so there's uncertainty, especially on travel, incentive travel. Taking corporations to and staff to other countries. Where do they deliver their events and stuff? So. There's a trend towards, definitely security. I mean, it's massive in the UK as well. I'm seeing a lot more metal detectors pop up at events in the UK, which we've never really had before and stuff.
Interesting.
Our event, we're even implementing backcheck this year.
Oh, wow.
It's large congregations of people, easy targeting, it's there. So.
Awesome. Well, I want to end, we only got a couple more minutes left, but I want you guys to share any cool resources or anything like that you guys have, whether it's a new tool that you guys have found, or maybe it's a new article that you've published, or really this is your chance to share anything you want with the entire audience that we have out on the interwebs. What would you guys like to share with everyone?
Well, at Smart Meetings, we partnered with Poken for the last couple of years,
Awesome.
and they are accelerating our networking process, and we're doing away with business cards, and everybody who comes talks about their Poken. We love it. So that seems to be a big hit with our latest
Awesome.
tool gadget.
Perfect. So Poken. Awesome.
Familiar?
Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah,
they're. That's why you guys got to come to the show. They're like literally right
As
there.
far as content goes, we have a huge interview on our next cover with Bill Marriott. about
Ooh,
so
awesome.
Really big news and
Awesome.
coming out
So
with
so
that.
look forward to that.
Look forward to that.
Adam, what about you? Anything cool you want to share?
Probably, I mean, there's so much on Event Nation News. Either follow us on Twitter at Event News Blog or sign up to one of our newsletters because there's tons throughout the year. One of the things that's really exciting for me this year is we're bringing over Scott Wilcox from South by Southwest to talk at Event Tech Live. Cool. He's a wealth of knowledge, just not on events, but in technology and the whole ecosystem and how things that we don't even realize are going to affect the events industry because they're kind of like ahead of the game by years. That's going to be live streamed, so anybody can watch that, get involved. There's going to be live Q&As. That's all happening on the 9th of November. The UK time, it will be kind of around about 4 o'clock, so
Okay.
I'm not sure, depending on
So
where you
really,
are.
really late.
Shameless commercial here.
Absolutely.
Show now.
It's all good. That's why I give you guys the chance to do the
Exactly.
shameless plugs. Well,
Thank you so much.
yes, thank you guys so much
Great.
for being on
Yeah,
the show. You guys are so
wonderful.
fantastic,
Cheers,
so
Will.
good
Thank
to
you
see
very
you
much.
both,
Very good.
and I look forward to seeing you guys around the show for some more.
I do too.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Guys. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys are having some fun out there in the audience. We are absolutely having some blast time over here, interview after interview. And this one was a special request we actually had to the audience. Someone was requesting you. So, yeah, if you want to just grab the mic and make sure that is switched on. There you go. You're all good to go. So for all the people in the audience right now, if you're watching at home, whether you're in your boxers or you're at work, whatever you're doing, hop on the chat panel over on the right-hand side. Submit your questions. We got 15 minutes with each of these amazing event icons, and you want to get your questions in right away. And be sure to share on social media. We're watching you guys on hashtag event icons on Twitter and on Instagram, so be sure to put it in there. But enough plugging and transition stuff. Kate, you are back for your second episode.
Woohoo!
Kate Tay, Creative Coverings.
Correct.
My questions for you are all surrounded around, we've had the media on here, we've had some planners on here, we've had some troublemakers on here, and apparently you're one of them now. Everyone's putting you in that.
I'm the
that
troublemaker.
Yep. No, someone in the chat said you're a troublemaker. But my question is,
They know me.
So you obviously went the route. You guys don't have a booth here, correct?
We don't.
But you're here kind of like to network and get with everyone, but you are not here to necessarily buy. You're more here to meet with potential clients and things
Correct.
like that, right? What's your experience been not having a booth as a supplier here at IMEX?
I get to have all the fun. I get to walk around and see everyone on my own schedule here, which I'm sure IMEX is like, stop talking woman right now. But I do. I love this show, and I just love everyone here and being able to have that fluidity in it and see who I want when I want to. It's fantastic.
Awesome. How many years have you been coming to IMEX?
This is my third year.
Third year.
Mhm.
Awesome.
I'm a newbie.
What's you just got in today, is that right? Or yesterday?
What day's today?
To Wednesday. One of these days.
Wednesday. Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so you've had a little bit of time to kind of get your feet wet and kind of walk around. What have you seen that's been cool and unique that you're like, wow, I really need to tell the entire Event Icons crew about it?
The technology that's out there is just so fantastic right now, seeing all of the different, just these little tech hubs and who's here and what the capabilities are at this point. I'm walking through like a kid in a candy store like, oh my gosh, you can do that? Seriously?
Yeah.
So I love seeing those. And then as a speaker, I like the apps that help along, like Slido, for instance, being able to
Do you want to
have...
explain what Slido does? So for
So
those who don't know.
Slido is it's web-based, so you add it into your presentations, and people can ask live questions. And in the audience, you can also like those questions, which drive them up the wall, meaning more people want to hear about it.
Awesome.
So it drives it to the top of your list. So as a speaker, you can address them in the order in which the audience wants to actually hear them.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's kind of taking away a little bit of the need for the microphone, the roaming microphone, or the microphones in the aisles.
It is, and I think the great part of that is not everyone's comfortable to stand up in a room with their peers and say, hi, I have a question, or hey, I don't understand
Yeah,
this,
absolutely.
but to have the anonymity to type it into an app and be able to ask your question.
Absolutely. What other cool things have you been seeing?
The people.
Yeah, people. Okay, so talk about the people. So who have you seen, and what kind of people are here at IMEX?
So love seeing all the different DMCs that are out here. There's a few different partners that we have here that we work with a lot, so getting to visit all of them and seeing the planners walking around is a ton of fun for it. There's been some awesome classes. There's two I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning.
Which ones are you taking?
Nick Borelli's going to talk about Instagram,
Awesome.
which I love.
Nick's still back here. No,
Nick had to go. Nick had meetings. He's so important now.
Hosted buyers.
Hosted buyers. So much to do.
Okay, so Nick's doing a class on
Instagram, and then my favorite other disruptor, Aaron's going to be standing
Awesome.
out doing one of the classes too.
Awesome. You call him a disruptor.
Oh, totally. Let's be real.
So we're going to rename the show from hashtag event comes to hashtag
Disruption.
event disruptor. Awesome, awesome. So, what for someone who's coming to this conference for the first time and they want to, meet people like you, what do you recommend? Do you recommend that they email you beforehand, or you just recommend they bump into you? What are your recommendations for people who don't know you but want to meet you?
Email's always great. It's just kate@creativecoverings.com, so easy to find me, and we can plan a meetup, but I try and post where I am all the time, too, and I'm following along the hashtag to see where everyone else is.
Absolutely.
There's a great meetup tonight for the organizations. It's WIPA and NACE and ILEA all together over at Caesars.
Cool.
So, I try and make sure I stop at all those and just visit everyone.
What do you do when you, can't choose what you want to go to? So, being at this event, everyone's saying, hey, come to, one event tonight and then come to the other one, and everyone's saying come in all these different directions. How do you choose where to go?
Cameos.
Cameos. You make a little small cameos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you have to choose? Would you like this or that? Yes.
I love it. I love it. There's no reason to say no to anything.
Correct.
Right? Do you think there's a time where the show gets overwhelming? Like, how do you pace yourself through it? You know, it's 4 solid days of hanging out with everyone, talking to everyone. My throat's already getting tired. You know, do you recommend like a slow pace, or do you recommend just going in, going hard?
I kind of go for it. I don't know if that's the way to go, though, because I see some people tucker out after like day 2, and they're like, no, tapping out, I can't roll.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been in bed by 9 o'clock.
But I also hit the point, like last night with ghosting, that you come in and you're like, all right, made my appearance. They said hello.
Yep.
Now
and
I gotta
you're
go.
like, good to go.
And lots of water.
Good, lots of water. Oh, I mean, a lot of people aren't used to this sort of climate too. You know, they come from where it's really cold. I'm obviously from Phoenix, so it's actually cooler here somehow. But
coming your way next week. I forgot about that.
Okay, burritos.
Sold.
If you ever come to Phoenix, we're gonna take you to burritos.
Sold. Tuesday. Let's roll.
Tuesday. Okay, awesome. So what do you recommend for people on a health side for preparing for the heat out here?
Always have a lot of water. Do your workouts early when you can. Okay. That's how I always start the day off, so it makes it easier to...
Did you do the run?
No. I thought they said rum.
The rum? She shows up with her glasses.
So let down.
Awesome. All right, cool. So what do you, let's think of some other good questions. Audience, if you're out there, we were waiting for your guys' questions in the question pane, so get them on in there. So my question to you is, for someone who's maybe wants to do what you did, right? They don't have the money to buy an expensive booth, and they want to still come here as a supplier. Like someone like myself, right? I'm not doing a booth, but I'm here as a supplier. What are your recommendations to making the most of your trip if they have to fly across the country or whatever they have to do to get the best ROI out of IMEX?
I would say study ahead of time, see who's going to be here, who you want to talk to. Part of me not exhibiting is the fact that I work through many of these companies already here because I wholesale. So Creative Coverings is already in a lot of the booths, and we have contracts with them already. So I don't want to go compete against my own clients, basically.
Absolutely.
But look to see who's here, see who you might want to meet. Make your game plan. I always walk the show floor first before I really hone in on any one thing, just a brief overview, and I figure out where I want to go back to. Cool. So I do that with every convention show, though.
Awesome.
Get the lay of the land and then figure out what struck your interest instead of finding something very first day and getting stuck on aisle 1800 and never getting past
and never
that.
Moving.
Exactly.
Because, everyone wants to have a conversation with you, right?
Yep.
So what other shows are you going to this year?
Oh my gosh, can I make a list of what I'm not? It'll take less time. All of them. This is such a great industry, and we have such a good time together, and we're celebrating live events and being in person. So, I will get to all of those between TSC and out to ARA and then over to Cater Source.
Awesome.
All the way through. You got it. The NACE conference I always love.
NACE conference, yes. Yeah. So do you think getting out to conferences is really, if you want to be in this industry, you got to be at all the conferences?
I wouldn't say you have to be at all of them. Especially depending on what you want, because I work in all realms of the industry with Creative Coverings. We do cover all of them. So you might be a little more niche in what you want to do. So I would say check them out, see what suits you best and where your people are. I always refer to it as you find your people. And when I walked into my first national conference, I was still a catering director at the time, doing events, and I walked in, I was like, I found my people. They get it. They're going through the same things I am every single day. They understand. These are my peers. They're people I can learn from. And then in turn, as I grow, bring up others with me.
And then they connect better with those people as well.
You get it. When you show up in person and you're there, it clicks.
Absolutely. What do you think that IMEX is doing really well this year? And then we'll flip that again real soon. So what do you think they're doing really well this year?
They always do great as far as their education. Really good job of that. They have such quality vendors that are here, and everyone's so well screened, and the buyers they bring in. This business model is fantastic. It really works for them. They're doing a good job with it, and they get the best of the best here to come see everything.
What do you think that they can improve on?
Well, I didn't speak this year, so maybe next year. I went there. I'm that person.
Well, I guess because you've spoken before.
Not at this one.
Not at this one, okay. But you've gotten to sit in a couple of speaking rooms. Is there a room that they should go to, an area that they should hang out, or is it, go everywhere you can go?
Check it all out. See what clicks with you. Everyone learns different and absorbs things in a different way, and they have different formats for it. So go and do what clicks with you, what resonates.
Awesome. Awesome. And the seating at some of these is really outrageous. Like they have beanbag chairs in some places.
I love those. When I went to my first TED Talk and I sat in the very front in a beanbag chair because I was running a few minutes late, which is so not like me. It was the only chair left, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a college kid right now. And I go up front and I sit down and I was like, this is amazing. I've never been so engaged in a presentation in my life.
You think it'd be the opposite because you'd like fall asleep?
Nope. It was the best. I didn't want to leave it. I want to put beanbags at every single presentation I do. Like, I'll buy my own. They'll all be teal for creative coverings, and I'll put them all in front.
Good branding, too. You can say, hey, these are brought to you, and then you can cover them, technically.
Creatively cover them.
Yeah, creatively cover them. It can't be just like teal fabric. It's got to be like special, like shiny fabric.
It'll be amazing.
Awesome. Well, we got a couple minutes left, so you talked a little bit about what you found at the show that you've liked. What cool resources would you recommend that people check out in the events industry? So, that's the last question we always end on.
Yeah.
What would you have to share with the interwebs that they want, they got to know about? Either it's a cool new article that you read, a cool tool, a company, or something that you're working on. What would you want to share with everyone?
Actually, the one thing I do always want to share, because I don't think everyone's aware of it, is Search Foundation.
Yes.
So,
you're the second person to mention that today.
Am I?
Yeah.
Was it Nick?
No, Nick hasn't been on. Yeah, Nick hasn't been on yet.
Who am I following up?
But I don't remember. Someone has also mentioned it.
So
Xander.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Good job, Xander, wherever you went. I just love Search Foundation. I don't think people are aware that that's a resource for them in our event industry. Should you have any kind of catastrophic loss or illness, and you can apply for grants through it. So
have you helped on on the donation side, or have you done?
I'm on their board right now as well.
On their board. Awesome, awesome. So how do people get involved with Search Foundation? Because I think now people are aware of it, and maybe they're saying, man, this is the second time I've heard this.
Yes.
I'm here.
Jump on the website. Everything you need to know is right there. If you want to email me direct, kate@creativecoverings.com. I'm always happy to help answer those, but they're a great resource for it. And then as far as education, I love following along on Event Manager blog with Julius, who was on earlier. He does a fabulous job. Awesome. This Event Icons, of course, is one of my favorites. Just the different, your NACEs and those ones that are out there. They're a good resource. Look at them all, see what speaks to you.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I think we are all out of time. I have perfect timing. I'm getting really good at this 15-minute thing. Kate, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you again.
Yeah.
We look forward to having you on the show very, very soon. Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, for everyone out there, you want to post your questions in the chat panel over on the right-hand side because, man, we have an awesome guest lined up right now. Megan Powers in the house.
Hello.
Did I get that right? I mean, it's not a very hard name to pronounce.
It's pretty easy, yeah.
So, also got Damien in the house as well. Damien, if you want to post it on up, we have a microphone here for you. Join us up on the bar. You can join up on the bar stools. Come on up. Come on up. So, for those who don't know,
bonjour.
There's a make sure you got switches are on, by the way. There is a element of the event called IMEX Pitch. It's the 5th year, 6th year, something like that, running now. And essentially, they bring the coolest, newest technologies and event startups to basically come in, pitch their company.
Oh, sounds great. Who won?
We didn't, but we're awesome.
We love
anyway.
you guys. We had to have you guys on. So I watched the pitches, and I loved what you guys were doing. And to be honest, everyone loved it too. So I think it's so close to the competition. Totally forgetting the name of the company that ended up winning. Doesn't matter anyways because you guys are here.
Event
showed up.
Grip won.
Grip Networking, yeah.
Grip Networking won. But these are the icons here. I especially love both of you guys' companies, and I want to get you guys on because you guys are doing some really, really cool stuff. I especially align with the production side, but also the organization side. I plan my events, and my God, I don't want another Google Drive or Dropbox in my life. Right. So, really quickly, if you guys can give like a one-sentence explainer, what do you guys do? And then we'll go from there.
Okay. So Event Collab is event project management software. It's a cloud-based tool intended to provide every stakeholder involved in planning events one central space where they can share documents, assign tasks, track time, have discussions, take their workflow out of their email and put it into this one central place online.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Damien.
Great. Yeah, well, we use ShowSlice. It's a unique venue marketing platform that enables the sharing of large infrastructure costs between event organizers whilst promoting available dates around adjacent confirmed bookings at venues.
Awesome. Awesome. So what do you guys think, as you guys both first-timers here? Not your first time.
It's my first time in the pitch, but it's
Pitch.
my sixth time attending
Six
this.
IMEX.
Yeah.
And it's your first IMEX, correct?
It's the first time I've been to the States.
First time in the States.
Obviously network.
Yep.
And every time you turn around, you run into someone that you know
Yes.
because this industry is so tightly knit.
Or you meet someone new, which
yeah,
is the main
exactly.
also point.
You meet some, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And people, you get introduced to people. It's a great space for connecting. I mean, more than anything, it's great to see all the companies and the technology and everything, but it's the people that is the absolute best part.
Anybody who's anybody
Yeah.
comes to IMEX.
Pretty much.
You hear that? So that means if you're somebody out there, you need to be here next year. So we'd love
Correct.
to see you, Megan. So we've had a lot of people who we've had. Kate was just on talking about what's like being a supplier but not an exhibitor. We've had event planners here talking about what's like being a hosted buyer. What's your perspective being an exhibitor and having tons of hosted buyers and people coming up to you 24/7 asking you questions?
I mean, it's awesome. I exhibit all the time, so with all the other industry shows and stuff. It's a challenge. We're in a fairly tight spot here in the technology pavilion, and so it's kind of hard to only be able to be giving 2 demos at once. And so that's something for the future. If we get a larger space, then that would be kind of nice. Yeah.
You heard that first time, Icons. Bigger booth next year.
Maybe. Let's see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see about the follow-up and the adoption that we get. But absolutely, it's quality over quantity, though, too, because the people we're talking to are really looking for a solution like ours. And so I would rather talk to 5 people who are really valuable and going to be great customers versus 10 people who are just listening to us because they want to listen to somebody talk.
Let's scoot on over because we have
Alex from Event Geek has
Mr. Alex
entered the
from Event
building.
Geek. So Alex also pitched. If you guys can share your microphone, I know the court's kind of short.
No,
if you want, you can stand up if you want, so because that's the camera right there. So we want to make sure that you are in there.
Okay.
So, Damien. So while Alex is getting ready, why don't you tell us a little bit about obviously it's first time in the States. You're primarily based in the UK, correct?
Sorry, I'm in the UK. I'm from London.
So what is your thoughts? What are your recommendations for someone who's coming so far to IMEX America? What are your recommendations for them to make the most out of this conference?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of educational programs. So I mean, whether you go to the one in Frankfurt or they are different. The educational programs actually they evolve. So this year is this 6 months when we're in IMEX, February.
Yes.
Early on.
Yep.
It's totally different from IMEX over here, and it's also different markets, different buyers. So it's if you want to learn about anything to do with the event industry, anything to do with destinations, anything to do with technology and the future of events, this is where you come.
This is what's come.
So I mean, if I could afford it, I would come to both IMEX because they're completely different. Yeah.
We're expecting you to be here next year.
Yeah.
You have to come now.
Well, I didn't win, did I?
Well, you're going to come back anyways because
I'm going to exhibit. We're going to be launching in the States.
Yes.
Yeah, this is why I'm here.
Exactly,
so,
exactly.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, if we want to pass the mic over to Alex.
There you
Alex,
go.
we're going to derail the conversation, go back to the quick question at the beginning. Can you explain to everyone in the camera of what you do and what Event Geek is all about?
He's not on camera.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Will. It's good to see you.
There he is.
Hello.
There we go.
Great. So, Event Geek is project management and ROI analytics for events. We help companies like Uber and Okta plan hundreds of events a year and get more sales and signups from the events that they do for marketing.
Awesome. So, I'm going to pivot to a question I had for all of you guys. What's the coolest technology other than your own, selfishly, that you have seen at the conference that you think that everyone needs to know about?
Absolutely, yeah. I got to give a big shout out to Tim, who won the competition yesterday. I think they're onto something for sure. Tinder for events. I'm surprised it doesn't exist yet. It's definitely going to be inevitable. Yeah, I mean, business safe Tinder. It seems like an inevitable app that we should already have. and I think that they're the team to do it. So big shout out for them.
Awesome.
I might have to agree with that. He won for a reason, and his artificial intelligence that he uses is pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Say that with a pinch of
You
salt.
took my answer. I actually think that having come from the AV production world, I think what Damien's doing is awesome because
Absolutely.
there were so many times where it's such a quick turnaround, and it's funny because I'd have convention services managers run up to me. So it took you 8 hours to set it up. How long is it going to take you to tear it down? Because we have an event at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the keynote ended at 4:30. I'm like, and it's not going to happen in an hour and a half. And P.S., who sold the space right out from under? Yeah. So
exactly.
if we had that opportunity to communicate, we
sell the same setup to both people.
Right. Which brings me to, can I ask you?
Yes, you
my
may.
question. I had asked
Yes.
a question that didn't get put to you yesterday.
Yesterday.
Was how do production companies and AV companies play into the mix? Because you talked a lot about the venue and the client, but it's the AV company and the production company that's providing all that gear that's going to be the one involved with sharing it. So how does that work?
Production, well, I mean, we're lucky enough not disrupting their marketplace, so they're actually quite interested to work for us. I was doing a sharing economy session on Monday. 2 production companies in the States gave me their details because they understand this.
Yeah.
Their overheads are cut. So it's that logistics and labor market that is unfortunate. I mean, I used to own a labor company in the event industry, which I sold, and now I'm disrupted. Which is sad because it's my friends, but it's technology and it's efficiency, and we just want to do things better. So
awesome, love it.
So when does the AV company get engaged?
Oh, it's the same as the venue. The first production is already confirmed. The first event, like the marquee, is going to be built. You know, it's not a matchmaking platform. Let's have an idea. I want to do it with.
No, I know.
You know? So
So
the first one's confirmed.
who's connecting that second company with the AV?
It's the venue or it's our staff, but it's most of the time the venue because the venue is making money and so is the AV company.
Right.
And we don't take any commission from the AV company, and they put the savings back to both.
Oh, awesome. So it doesn't affect me at all. I just get more sales.
Well, we could talk about it. So.
I don't know. I kind of like that no commissions. Alex, so what has been one thing that you think that that technology companies need to be doing differently after seeing everything that's kind of happening at IMEX? Where do you think you see technology, I guess, going for IMEX 2017?
Yeah, sure. So, I think the one thing that technology companies should be doing, especially after kind of walking around the show floor here, is there needs to be more conversations that happen, I think, between technology companies and the other companies here. I guess the associations and the hotel companies and the DMCs, which are like the tourism boards for these various countries and cities. It definitely seems like there's a lot of opportunity there that's being left on the table to collaborate, and I think that's just going to come out with more conversations from technology companies taking a really humble and earnest point of view around like really listening to what these customers need and engaging them, and maybe that it means bringing in some more experienced user research versus entrepreneurs just trying to wing it. But I think there's a lot on the table, and it's the future looks really bright if we can really start to listen to some of these companies and really understand their needs on a deeper level.
Damien, what about you? What do you see
The whole,
2017 going?
yeah, sorry, because the whole time I was sitting here trying to reconstruct what he was saying to understand what the question was because I didn't listen to it.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. I handed you a shiny microphone.
You asked him. So
I handed you
was
this
like,
shiny microphone, and you got really excited. Okay, I got you. AV
Okay,
guys,
so what is the question? Sorry.
Where do you see 2017 going with event tech, and what do you think we'll see in IMEX 2017 for technology?
Oh, very interesting. Well, it's connectivity. Because I'm big into connectivity, and what is it now? We have 10 billion connected devices now. Is that right? And in X amount of years, we'll have 100 billion or 80 billion. So I think it's going to go down there. It's going to be about data and analytics and using that to be more sustainable. That's where we're heading down. The whole discourse about the sharing economy is all about sustainable, trying to consume things in a different way, and I think that's going to affect it in many, many ways, and many different platforms and apps are going to come out to use this sort of connectivity.
We're going to be chipped.
Yes.
Eventually.
Hybrid.
I would say integrations. We've had a lot of good conversations with companies that, like I've mentioned before, Event Collab doesn't intend to be everything to everyone. We feel like integration is where it's at. There are companies who are already doing things really, really well, and we built our product on an open API for that very reason, to integrate with other products and get those relationships going. They're not going to do what we're doing. We're not going to do what they're doing, and so it's a perfect solution. And I see that happening more and more. You see that with Quick Mobile and Pokin and Meet. What's the other? I don't know. The three, anyway, yeah. But it's such a cool setup that they're both integrated with Quick Mobile, and so having them exhibit all together is brilliant.
Let's do your microphone. So earlier, Aaron said he actually posed a really, really solid point. He thinks that actually in the future, like the next year or so, we're going to start to see a focus away from things and technology and more so towards people. And that people are going to be what's going to be moving this industry moving forward. What do you guys have to say about that kind of counterpoint to what you guys have?
Yeah, well, okay. Is it going to be more human, face-to-face? What, with live streaming and hybrid events becoming cheaper and more accessible? You know, I'm not sure if it's going to go completely more human. Technology will always be a crutch for humanity, I believe, and therefore there's another cool app like Uber that allows us to do something just as amazing as Uber. I don't see a reason why we will try to ignore that.
See, I think that the technology brings us together.
Yeah.
I got my master's in communication 2 years ago, and I did my thesis on face-to-face communication versus online communication within the context of trade shows.
Who won?
It was, as I suspected, a hybrid of the two. Because I mean, I as a salesperson, I was part of my evidence was I surveyed marketing executives in charge of budgets. I surveyed exhibitors who are salespeople, attendees who may or may not be buyers, and then event organizers. And we talked about relationship building in commerce as being the two sort of pieces related to trade shows. I wanted to do it on events or on meetings and events as a whole, but it was too big. I didn't have enough time. But there's hardly any academia out there related to this. The closest I could find was research that like IT people had done on the value of it. So anyway, so my point was, I feel like, and having served in each of those roles, starting to build that relationship online and arranging that meeting, setting up that appointment, versus just trying to walk up to somebody and try to, that's still good too at networking events and stuff like that. But if you can use online,
to be at the forefront of adopting technology.
Yes,
and I think
that's right.
proof of that is that like we do have so many apps and it's such a fragmented market. Usually when you've got like a healthy level of adoption, you have a couple of leaders emerge in a category like events apps. And I would suggest that like the fragmentation is due to kind of the patchwork that we're seeing among technology adopters. We haven't seen a company come in and really just own the event app space. And I think actually that would be a good thing. So I disagree a bit with the premise of the question, but in generally, like, you know, I think technology and you know, humans are kind of merging, right? Like you see technology becoming more like people with artificial intelligence, and people becoming more like technology with their, you know, their phones are always in their hands, and it just changes, you know, who we are as people living in this kind of really technical society. So so yeah, I mean, it's a kind of an inevitable trend, and you know, the emergence of like IoT and the Internet of Things, this is just like, you know, another way that things are becoming part of this like technology continuum that we're all on.
Awesome. You have a question? Yeah, follow
I
up?
was just gonna say, I feel like the horse has already left the gate. Like
Yes.
we're immersed. We're using the technology, and it's always. I don't think the people have ever gone away.
Yeah, I
So
mean-
that's part of the reason why I think it's kind of an odd thing, because definitely it's the people who are always driving the industry anyway, and the adoption of the technology and the combination of them moving forward together is, I think that's
I
where
know,
it's going to continue.
and
to
what
go.
about virtual reality or having the headset where you can actually see the person perhaps in 3D? You know, I mean,
Ooh.
you know, so it's all that's going to get cheaper and cheaper. And can you imagine that sort of communication? You feel
Absolutely.
like you're in the same room as them. You know, so
There you
why
go.
would we say no to something like that?
Awesome. Well, you guys are absolutely awesome. I know we've had Alex on the show, but we need to get both you guys on the show. Maybe we'll do another follow-up to this to find out where you guys are at after IMEX.
Right.
But I want to thank you guys so much for being on the show. It's a huge pleasure, Megan.
No, Will,
David. Hey, Alex, such a pleasure. Thank you guys so much. You guys are good. I'll trade microphones with you if that's okay. Awesome. You can just sit down. All right, awesome. Thank you guys. You guys are very welcome. Thank you guys so much. It is 3:30, 6:30 Eastern. I'm going to scoot these chairs over and come one seat over. All right, awesome. So our next guest is really awesome. You guys are going to love this. This is literally from the horse's mouth. We could not have gotten anybody better for the topic of IMEX than the CEO of IMEX. So, in the house, hello, Katrina.
Hi,
It's good
nice
to see you again. All right, there we go. Let's get your mic switched on real quick.
Let me just get water.
It has been a very, very busy conference for you. We got to make sure that you get some water, so stay hydrated in the Vegas heat.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Karina, it's so awesome to have you here.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live.
Oh, okay.
So
Hi.
everyone's out there on
Hello,
the internet
people.
watching right now. We are so honored to have you here.
Oh, no, you're welcome. Thanks for having
we
me.
got everyone from suppliers, exhibitors, to attendees, to planners, everybody in big media on the show today talking about
Fantastic.
your show.
Okay.
And where it's going, what they think is great about it, what they think can improve.
Yeah.
But from your perspective, how do you think that the show has been going this year?
Yeah, you know, from our perspective, it's all about whether our exhibitors and our buyers are getting value from the show, whether they're doing business, and whether this is a productive use of their time and they're getting good ROI. So we've had great feedback from buyers and exhibitors on that. And so, you know, for us, if they're happy, then we're happy. And having said that, you know, we always like to hear what could be improved as well, because that's really how we can get ideas to, you know, make sure we keep innovating and improving the show year on year.
Awesome, awesome. So to give people an idea, because you know some attendees just come to the event and they obviously get to enjoy all the exhibits and all the things going around and all the events that happen afterwards. You know, how big of a team does it take to plan this event?
So we have nearly 60 people in our office, and we do 2 events. So the 60 people work on IMEX in Frankfurt and IMEX America, and that's all we do.
Awesome, awesome. And are all 60 people here? Do some people hang back and help support in the office?
No, we actually bring everybody out to IMEX America and to IMEX in Frankfurt, including our entire sort of admin and accounts team. So, you know, when hosted buyers go into the hosted buyer lounge and they go and get their refunds, they're getting their refunds from our accounts team.
Cool.
You know, our finance director is
Awesome.
there processing their refunds. So, you know, it really is a full team effort.
Cool.
And, you know, the people that you're emailing or calling or tweeting are the people that you meet here.
And how long does it take for you to plan IMEX America or Frankfurt? Does it, you know, like, is it one of those things where you have a short amount of period because you've been doing it for so long? Like, how long does it take you guys to plan this?
Yeah, no, it's a continually rolling planning process. So, you know, even before one IMEX America. So in the summer, we're already talking about what we'll do for next year.
Awesome.
But, you know, having said that, the real planning obviously kicks off afterwards, because what, you know, doing events, I think, is a luxurious profession in the sense that you really see and feel the fruits of your labor, and then you have a chance, even if it's a day, a week, a month after the event, to sit back and review it. You get evaluations, you talk to your customers, and you can really step back and say, you know, how should we do things better next year, and plan forward. So there are already things we know will be changing or we'll be planning for next year, and then the rest really will be about us getting together a few weeks after the show and saying, as a team, what went well, what didn't go well, what should have been better, and what can we now do for next year.
Awesome. And so as a CEO, I know you're working like 120 hours a week, like
Yeah.
making sure everything's going good, and you're like the face of the team and doing tons of interviews. Do you get a break off?
I do, actually, immediately after this. My family are coming out tonight,
Oh,
which I'm
awesome.
excited about. And after this, we're going to Death Valley and Yosemite in San Francisco.
Ooh,
So
nice.
I don't always get a break after the show, but this year I'm doing
made it a
that.
point.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited that you get a chance to
Yeah.
break. So we've been talking a lot about, for people, there's a lot of people tuned in right now that obviously couldn't make it, or
Yeah.
maybe they've never been to an IMEX before.
Yeah.
What would you recommend for those who haven't been able to come to a show to experience it fully? Like, what's your recommendation? Where should they go? What should they do?
If they were to come next year, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, they should definitely come next year,
Absolutely.
obviously, so make sure you come. I think there's so much going on at the show that you can really craft and customize your experience depending on what's of interest to you. I would highly, highly recommend anybody coming to come in on Sunday night and come in for the full day of Smart Monday, because it's a full conference educational program that's completely free. It really gives a huge amount of value. 86% of our sessions here are CMP certified.
Awesome.
You can get great value out of that. And not only that, you meet people and you can network before you get in. And we have specialist programs for association meeting planners, for senior corporate meeting planners. So that I would highly recommend. And then depending on your sort of industry affiliations, I'd make sure you know what co-located events are taking place, whether that's Site Night, MPI Foundation Rendezvous, SEER have their golf tournament, etc., etc. So I'd really make sure you know what your community is doing here at the show and take part in that. And then in terms of the show, it's about preparation, really. If you're coming in as a buyer, make sure that you get into the scheduling system when it goes live a month before, and plan your meetings, because the show is very busy. So, a lot of meeting slots get booked out. So if you want to really maximize your time and make the most of it, you have to make sure that you get those meetings booked in before you come on site. Yeah. So those would really be my three key things. And also, if you're into fitness, the IMEX Run, because it's a great event, great camaraderie, lots
Mike
of
and Julius
fun.
had done it. We had them on. They were talking a little bit about it.
And people just love that event. So that's another one to look out for.
Awesome. Which one's your favorite? Like, what would you say if you picked one event other than the show floor? Like, which one's your favorite?
Gosh, that's very difficult.
That's very hard. I just asked the Wizard, which is a spell.
The event that we've got tonight, which is MPI Foundation Rendezvous, is in an amazing location overlooking the Strip, and that's really very special. So,
you tease everyone, because I don't think they know where it is.
It's at a club called Dre's, and it overlooks the Strip. It's got an enormous terrace, and
you can see the fountains,
and
too.
you can see the Bellagio fountain. So that's fantastic. But I do also have to just give a shout out on an equal footing to Site Night, because I am on the Site Foundation, and that's also, it was in a club called Omnia in Caesar's Palace, which also has a beautiful terrace overlooking the Strip, and the club itself is outstanding. And both those events are so important for the industry. They both raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for the industry foundations that goes into research and education, scholarships. So those two events would be my favorites. Yeah,
awesome.
My go-tos.
Awesome. So, the thing that many people might not know is that obviously it's free to attend as an attendee to the conference. What was the decision in doing that? Was that intentional, or was it something that just kind of came throughout? What was your guys' decision on making it free for anyone to come in and attend?
Yeah, no, that is entirely intentional, because this event is for the industry, and therefore we want the whole industry to be able to gather here. And the key for this event is about delivering business for the industry, business for the suppliers and the buyers that are here. It's not within our model to charge people to come in. We want people to come in, experience, and by doing that we can bring all sectors of the industry together, and people at all different levels together, which is really important. It means that the industry is here connecting.
Awesome. So I would probably be shot by the audience. I know they're all asking the question. They all want to know what's in store for next year. So they obviously all want to attend next year.
Yes,
Is there anything new and exciting that they have to look forward to?
Well, I can't really announce here today before the show's over.
I was hoping I could sneak in a little
exciting-
exclusive right there.
But just to say, I suppose, that we're always innovating and we're always trying new things. We like to take some risks in what we're trying and what we're putting on. We're happy to take people's ideas as well. So you can be sure that there will be something new, but I can't say today.
Okay. Well, stay tuned. We'll probably post some cool announcements in the resource section of the podcast for everyone to check out. So we always end the last question for all of our guests. What cool resources do you want to share with the audience? So if you have a favorite article you just read, an app that you found, or anything at all, what would you love to share with everyone who's tuned in right now?
Oh, cool resources. That is a difficult one as well, isn't it?
I asked the hard-hitting question.
Yeah, you really do ask the hard-hitting questions. Well, I guess, I do read a lot of the industry publications, the online publications, so I like those, Meetingsnet, M&C, IMR as well. So I think some of those are great resources because they combine often video as well as great articles. And lately I've been finding a lot on social media as well. When you're connected into people in the industry posting articles, I just find myself actually getting my news from there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You just have to stay in the
so that's probably what I say in terms of keeping up to date. There is loads of great apps and technologies coming up in the industry. IMEX Pitch, of course, was yesterday.
Yep, and we just had 3 of the contestants on just now.
Oh, did you?
Yep,
Great.
yep.
Okay, well, I won't say anything about their products because they'll say it better. But that's the other thing I'd say, to look out for. Who's been in the IMEX Pitch, because those are the new up-and-coming technology providers.
Absolutely.
And I think it's always interesting to see who's coming up in technology world.
Absolutely. And I think a couple episodes ago we had Looped in, who had won last year.
Yeah.
So they're definitely the movers and the shakers of the industry.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I don't know if you've had here Space.
No.
So Space is a company that we met in Frankfurt because they're based in Germany, and they are a new kind of sharing economy site for the meetings industry. So they've launched in Germany, they've just launched in America, and they're here and they're speaking here this week. And they are a really cool new company. They make really interesting spaces available for meetings and events.
Cool.
So that's definitely one to look out for. Space.
Awesome. Well, hey, I know you're really busy. You got a lot more places to be.
Yeah.
Very busy CEO, so thank you for so much.
Thank you very much.
It's such a pleasure.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for having us at the show today.
You're welcome. Thank
you. Awesome. Yeah, you set that down. Awesome. All right. Last but not least, we had to bring the man, the myth, the legend. Second time on the show, too.
Yes, I know.
And Miguel, for those who don't know, is
bringing Garrett as well.
Yes,
as a second
Garrett.
guest?
Yes. So Garrett's your first time being on. Here, come on, scoot on over. We got some more seats over here. Yes, come on over to the high chairs. So happy to have you, Garrett. So you guys are in charge of all the social media and basically everything everyone's watching at home. So most likely the people that are watching online right now also watch your guys' live streams and everything like that. What's it like putting all that together for such a huge convention like this?
It's pretty intense. There's a lot of work in the background, and I think the thing that's most interesting is that it's really different. I think 50 weeks out of the year, it's we try to do some content marketing, we try to do some fun stuff and engage our audience, and then we're at the show. It's just this sort of we call it the fire hose. Like, it just explodes, and we sort of have to adjust expectations and sort of, do we try to answer every single tweet? Do we try to capture every single moment? We have strategies. We have people out on the show floor, our social team. We have a person back home in England that's sort of covering the morning portion to try and be as responsive as possible. We have somebody at the education station. We do our Facebook Live videos. We do a lot of stuff, but at some point we sort of have to go, you know what, it's great if people just do it themselves.
Yeah.
And that's really, I think, where the magic happens.
I think that's the key part of the strategy here, and you're a part of that with your podcast here being in the show. I mean, we think a lot about how we can leverage all the exhibitors, all the hosted buyers, all the attendees here to actually get them to share on any channel that that's their favorite channel. So we think about shareable content, we think about photo opportunities, we with the Facebook videos where we tag a lot of exhibitors in. That's all stuff that other people want to share, and that brings this experience further out.
Awesome. Do you guys have any like special initiatives that you guys are doing on the show floor? So, for example, you guys have the Facebook Live videos that you guys are doing. Can you talk a little bit about maybe the Facebook Live videos that you guys are doing and maybe some other initiatives?
Sure. I mean, Facebook Live videos are great for us because they're really spontaneous. We plan a little. We're actually going to be doing one at 4 o'clock, and that's why we have to run a bit. But we try to sort of showcase things that are happening at the show. And we basically interrupt people and say, hey, we're live. Do you have a second to just speak with us?
Awesome.
And
do you know who you're talking to, or is it completely random? People?
Sometimes we see people we recognize, but other times we literally just talk to people we've never met.
Does it ever scare you?
Yeah, sometimes people respond not in the best way, but
that's when it becomes funny, right?
Yeah,
people are like, no, go away.
But that's sort of, we tried for a long time to figure out the best way of showcasing the buzz that you feel on the IMEX show. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot going on. And then if you make it really formal, if you do like a really formal interview, we have a video station in Frankfurt. We do these sort of like 5, 10, 15-minute interviews. And after a while, it's like, that's not really capturing what the show floor is about.
Yeah.
And these Facebook Live feeds do. And we've actually found, at least I found that Facebook, we do a lot on Twitter, but Facebook actually has more interaction. Probably because sort of everybody's on Facebook, most people are. So even if you're not super active, you will eventually, someone will watch a video or a friend of yours or whatever, and then it just becomes a cool thing. Whilst Twitter is, unfortunately still sort of a geeky thing. You either get it and you're on it, or you sort of easily ignore it. Well, Facebook is so pervasive that it works well for us.
Yeah, and it's developing quick because we started experimenting with this at Frankfurt when the Facebook Live thing was just out a couple of months, and then you saw that the Facebook algorithm was really promoting live, right? So we would very easily get like, not hundreds, but like in the 50, 60, 70 viewers. Right now, we kind of have to work hard to keep it up to 10 or 20 concurrent viewers, but a lot more people watch it in recording. So that also is for us when we make the thing, we kind of have a two-headed thing where we both talk to a live audience, but also keep in mind that people watch a recording. And and that works. And what also is very nice production-wise, you shoot it and you're done, right? Yeah. Well, the only thing we do in post-production is kind of like, add all the descriptions and tag all the people that we ran into, which then helps the discoverability of the video.
Absolutely. So would you recommend that all conventions and events implement some sort of Facebook Live element right now because it is so hot?
I would say yes, but not only because Facebook Live is hot, because it's much more what Miguel talks about. It's able to capture that buzz in the moment. Because if you go, and I'm not saying you shouldn't stretch the event with content in the phase after, but it's very different because it's like if you go on a holiday and then you bring back your holiday pictures and we have to go watch your holiday pictures. They were awesome for you, but we weren't there, so it's nice. Just and I can right exactly. I like the fact you were there, but I don't have to see it all. Well, now it's hot. Even for all the folks who are not here, they see this initiative. They see their friends posting on Facebook that they're here. So for them now, it's kind of relevant to get a piece of that action, and it's much less relevant next week, right?
And I think also because we're a trade show first. There's education, there's a lot of stuff happening, but the core of IMEX is people having business appointments. Exhibitors pay a lot of money to be here because they want to have those business appointments, those 30-minute business appointments. And Facebook Live, for me, illustrates that better than anything else. If we were a conference with hundreds of sessions of content going on, platform, whatever you're going to use might be more appropriate, more formal recordings, timed sessions, etc. But for us, Facebook Live really enables the people at home to experience a little bit of what's happening here. So it's a good fit for us.
Is there a place online, so obviously they can't have the buyer experience without being here, obviously, right?
Sure.
But is there a way for them to experience the education online as well, so then that way if they can't make it, they can kind of still enjoy it? Or is it, well, things, again, they have to be here?
Strategically, we're always looking to get people to come here. So we've been streaming the keynotes.
That's new. You can follow all the keynotes.
You can follow the keynotes. We do share a lot of the content, so the speakers share a lot of blogs and content. We share that before, and also we share some of the presentations afterwards. So you can get a glimpse of it. But that's a strategic choice that we've made as well. That we say, hey, this is about doing business. We really want you to be here in person. If you can't be, here's a glimpse. But we're not an association. We're not going to sell the content after. It's really about telling people, hey, it's free. You know,
Yeah.
this is completely free to attend. If you can get a flight to Vegas and a hotel room, you know, at Motel 6, you can come to IMEX America, you know, for like $50 a day.
Yeah.
And do as much as you would do in many other conferences. So, you know, there's a big opportunity here.
Yeah, and a big part of what we're doing, both live and with social media and with the reporters, I think, is all about leveraging FOMO, right? Making sure that everybody who's not here is very aware that they're not here, and they should have been.
You watch the tweets, all it says is FOMO everywhere, like crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's the strategy. That's what we're looking for.
Awesome, awesome.
But to add to that, because that's a great example of what just happened in our Facebook live stream this morning, we had a group of students in Spain who actually had like an evening course due to the time difference, and their teacher Anna was involved in. She saw some of the earlier live streams. She put our live stream up in class and actually took her students across the show floor with us, and they loved it. And they sent us a picture afterwards, like with a group picture, and thank you very much. So, yes, it is FOMO and it's fun, but in the end, there's also people actually getting some stuff out of that.
But what do they say? We have to go there next year.
Of course, yeah, and that's
you
the
just
whole
got
aim.
30 people to come for next year, right?
That's the whole aim.
So where do you guys see the social media going for next year? You know, like Facebook Live is obviously a big initiative this year. What do you guys see going for next year for social media? Are you guys implementing new platforms that you see that you need to implement, or things that you're like, hey, we need to stop using that and move away from it? Where do you guys see it going next year?
I think streamlining, definitely. I still think we spread ourselves way too thin. You know, we're trying to be on all these different platforms, so streamlining. I'm a big fan of private chat groups, and you know what?
Like
for my
Slack.
job, like Slack, like WhatsApp, like Facebook Messenger, I don't really care, but I firmly believe that every person almost that's at this conference is in a chat group with a few people here, right? And in many ways, I want to be aware of that as the organizer, but I want to let people just feel free. You know, like, you guys have your private chat groups. That's okay. And if you need help, I want them to know where they can ask for help, or where they can say, hey, I can't find this, or are there shuttles, or what's happening over here, or where's the education? And I want to be able to help them.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I feel like there's a real, you know, and then things like Snapchat, you know, that sort of slight backlash to, we want people to be on Twitter and Instagram and share their whole lives. But ultimately, most people aren't that comfortable with that.
Yeah.
You know, we find that's, you know, we do the social team. Initially, we thought we were going to interview loads of hosted buyers, and it was going to be this amazing thing. But actually, the people that want to share are the exhibitors, because that's what they're here to do. You know, and there's only so much interest online of what the exhibitors have to say. So we want to amplify that message, because that's what IMEX does. But ultimately, most people that, you know, have the buying power, most people that we want to hear what they have to say, are going to share in private. So I want to be aware of that and just empower them and say, hey, we're here to help. Here are some great photos if you want to share those with your friends, but you don't have to tell us about it. Just go and do it. You know?
Exactly. I mean, that is all about giving them, and whoever them is, exhibitors, attendees, whatever, giving them stuff to talk about. Because I think if there's any big trend, it's about less and less public. It's whether it's WhatsApp group, Facebook, Messenger groups, Snapchat, whatever. It's in places where we no longer can see it or be part of that conversation. So we just need to make sure that we trigger them to at least use that HD camera and internet connection in their pocket, and make sure that there's branded stuff or good stuff or fun stuff going out there in those networks where we can be. On the other hand, if something is up, we need to be reachable, right, for customer care.
Awesome. So, for everyone who's not tuned in right now, where do you recommend? So I know you guys got a live stream coming up in a couple minutes.
We need to rush.
Don't need to rush. But what do you guys recommend if they want to? You know, tomorrow's the last day, correct?
Yeah.
For them to still get a feeling, see what's going on. Where do you recommend them to go? Like what channels to go to, what websites to go to, all that sort of stuff to get in what's going on in IMEX.
I think Facebook Live, because we're going to be doing the keynote again. We've got a really fun keynote tomorrow morning. Tammy Evans, she's just, you know, a hoot on stage. She's really funny. We're going to be doing some more Facebook Live, you know, just walking around the show floor. And there's still stuff happening. I would also just say we're doing a few Storify compilations of sort of our favorite tweets and our favorite messages. So they're a nice way, even if you weren't here, to just get a feeling of what everybody else was saying. And we tried not to make those about what we saw, but what everybody else was seeing. So that's probably the best way. I know that, for example, Smart Meetings have been doing a bunch of videos while they've been here.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other, media that are going to cover us quite a lot. So if you're just keeping, in touch with our social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, we're going to, over the next few weeks, just share all that as well. So we're going to pick up on those things and say, hey, this is how they saw the show, or this is what these people saw. And more we're seeing people make, great videos just on their phones. And we love sharing that stuff because it's like, hey, we missed all this, but somebody else captured it, so let's show you this now.
And should they just look for IMEX America or just IMEX?
No, it's facebook.com/IMEX Group. That's where we do all the live streams.
Perfect.
And if you go to either Instagram or Twitter and look for IMEX Social Team, that's where you see the live reports and the live takeaways from the educational sessions and all that stuff.
Awesome. Yep. And our main Twitter account's IMEX_group.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you guys want to share with everyone out there on the interwebs who can't be at IMEX?
Are you going to give us that standard last question? Because I just heard that, so I've been thinking up some stuff, right?
So, everyone wants to know what cool resources, whether it's technology, a blog, article you read. What do you want to share with everybody?
Well, I couldn't even pick my favorite, right? Because the first thing
you get so excited about this stuff.
Right? I've been walking around with a gadget with a capital G. You saw it yesterday, I think. It's the DJI Mobile. It's like a gimbal device, like a thing that hangs underneath the drone, same technology, but you put your phone in it. So now you can make like these awesome drone kind of like shots with your mobile phone. And I think it's better than the regular Osmo because the Osmo has a pretty crappy camera. Phone cameras keep improving. So next year you just put in your next phone.
It's like the Osmo 2 it's called or something. It's the new version, right?
DJI Mobile.
DJI Mobile, the name. That's what it's called. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's called. So that's a hardware piece I would definitely recommend if you're into creating cool content for social. And my favorite app of 2016 that I discovered is Quick by GoPro. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's Quick without a C, so Q-U-I-K. Cool. It's an app formerly known as Replay. And when it was still that, it kind of sucked. Can I say that on your show?
Yep.
But GoPro bought it and just simply pimped it. And they made it completely for free. They took off all the branding, all that stuff. And what you do is you feed it some video and photos, and it automatically creates like a video compilation out of that.
Oh, awesome.
And Facebook has some of these features, Google has some of these features, but this app is just 10 times better. Awesome. It's almost like we were talking about, it's almost like it's AI. Like it detects which are the interesting shots and it automatically does stuff with it. And the coolest thing is the editing goes extremely quick. Like if you change the music, in 2 seconds, it has adjusted the whole cutting to the beat. Yeah, right? Because video editing normally is a heavy process.
Phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mobile app, I think, both on iOS and Android, and free.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive. I'm going to be really boring. I was going to say Google Maps, but, that's
great
ultra boring. It is a great.
Savior when I was in Europe, by the way.
We use a software called SmugMug.
Yeah.
And it's sort of similar to Flickr, but I think it's a bit more professional. It's a software for photographers, and it's really designed for them to sell their photographs, like wedding photos or whatever. But we actually use it with the show photographers. So we have professional photographers go around the whole show. I think there's like 4 of them, and they upload. They don't even have access to the actual thing. They just have an upload link. They drop it into this upload link, and it shows up on our system. And then our press team curates like a press gallery. We see all the photos. The whole company can just have, professional photos coming through, and it gives us great content that we can share. So we're, over the next few days, while we're on site, it's quite hard to have the sort of brain space to manage all that.
Yeah.
But over the next few days, we have some great photography material that we're going to be able to share and illustrate all the stuff that happened at the show. So it's just a really nice tool, and I think it's like $180 a year for a subscription for unlimited storage space.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I think this is a real problem that a lot of your viewers who are involved in social media at events will recognize. You have these, the phones are getting better, but either you have the quick, crappy phones photos, or you have the nice professional stuff, but that's always out of date, right?
Exactly.
Before they've downloaded and shared it, and the SmugMug thing really helps us to make that closer to real time.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, I know you guys got to get off. You guys have like negative 60 seconds to get to your
We're
your
late.
live stream.
If you want to keep watching, join us over at facebook.com/IMEX Group, right?
Yep, we're going
about
live.
5 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to see the global part of the show floor. Supposed to be live in a minute. I don't know if we're going to make that, but we're going to try.
Be late.
Awesome. Miguel, thank you so much. Pleasure. Thank you for making all this happen.
Thank you, Will. Thanks for having us.
Again. Thank you guys so much. You guys can leave the microphones right down there. Let me see if I can grab this guy up here. Come on over. We're going to do a surprise interview really quick. We have I think we're supposed to be ending right now. So we're going to get this guy in. So you guys don't know, but my co-host, Sean Holiday, has been here the entire time. He's the one who's been wrangling all the guests and getting everyone in. I wanted to bring him on real quick just to kind of talk a little bit about his IMEX experience. What's the big thing that you've been seeing?
It was good, man. We came last year. Actually, won event second of the year here last year, which was fun. This year, not quite as the buzz, but bumping into CEOs all over the place. We got a loan right here from Visibo.
Yeah.
In the booth, CEO of the big company.
We're gonna have to get him on the show soon.
You bump into a bunch of people. Julius, and all the guests we had on here. That
Yep.
It's like you wouldn't otherwise get to shake their hand and say hi to them. It's free.
Absolutely, it's free.
Get the ticket out, chill with the people. It was totally worth it.
Almost knock over the TV.
Definitely be back here next year. This guy's amazing. Will brought this all together.
Sean helped make it happen. So
flew out, but it's amazing.
awesome. Well, thank you guys all for tuning in. We got to get out of here because there's no session after us. We got to tear all this down. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is hashtag event icons. If you loved everything you saw, you only saw a bit of it, and you wanted to see some more, just head on over to helloendless.com/blog or just go to event-icons.com. You'll find your way. We'll be posting all the show notes, the transcripts, all of the amazing resources that were mentioned. There were just so many. So go check that out and tune in next week. We have an amazing episode, and the next couple episodes are amazing. So tune in next week. Hashtag event icons every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, we got to get out of here. And if you are in Vegas right now, eTouch is going to be presenting right here afterwards. So definitely come on by. So thank you, everybody.
Hey guys, thanks.
We'll catch you guys later.
Let's have you on alone.